What we are going to go through today is how an author uploads their manuscript to Editorial Manager. The first thing that you need to do is to log on. There are several ways to do this. It is possible to log on via an ORCID account if you have that. If you so wish to, you can go to ORCID, register if you haven't done that, and do it that way. Otherwise, you would fill in, if you have an existing account, your username and password. If you don't already have one, then you would first register. And in order to register, and here again you can use the ORCID account, your first name, your surname, and an address. And if you happen to have forgotten your login details from this page and from the first page, you can request a link to reset your username and password. And here it's saying that I've already registered, so we will go back and I will just log in myself. And I'm logging in as an author. What you're seeing here is also a test site so that I can take you through the entire process as we do this. Now it could be that an editor had sent you a request to upload a manuscript. It would still be more or less the system. If you want more information on any of that, or you want to look back and have something on paper, online we have on the site Brill's Editorial Manager Manual for Authors, which gives you screenshots and explains it again step for step. So I'm going to submit a new manuscript. It can be that a journal is double-blinded, which means that the reviewers don't know who you are and you don't know who the reviewers are. In that case, you would need to upload two files, an anonymized manuscript and a title page. The title page has to have the title of the manuscript and your name, affiliation, etc. So now it wants, because the test site is set up for double-blinded, I will need to upload the title page first. So I go to my computer where I've already created something. I find my file. And now you see here, we've got the title page. But there's also another title page there, so I'm just going to remove it. By clicking on the select, I can remove a file that I've uploaded. It asks, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. And in this case, there's a manuscript, a sample manuscript also uploaded. And then under description, manuscript. Please make sure that if it is double-blinded, that you ensure that your name, etc., is not on the manuscript. You can cite yourself as an author. I would just put your name in without saying author or trying to double blind that. We go to proceed. Certain things that are here on the test site, so is the region of origin, may not apply to your manuscript. Just like certain journals have categories, others do not. Regular journals need keywords and an abstract text. For many journals, there's a limit to the number of words you can use for the abstract and a number of keywords that you're allowed. Keywords should be separated by a semicolon. This journal has classifications, so we're going to add a classification. Many journals do not. And if you think you forgot something, you can always go back. Proceed. Some journals have a selection of the different editors. Some journals don't, especially if there's only one editor-in-chief. Next. The next step is suggesting people that you think would be good reviewers to look at your paper. And I can put in a reviewer here. The most important things here are the things that are marked with an asterisk and are in red. So the only things you have to fill in there are the first name or first initial, the surname, and an email address. Proceed. But we don't have to fill that in, just like we don't have to necessarily fill in the people that you would prefer not to have review your paper. But some journals don't have that. We can go on to proceed. This questionnaire, however, is important, and you must fill that in entirely. That the article conforms to the journal style and instructions. It is very important for authors to remember that the journals have a particular style that is set out in the instructions for authors. Those are located online, either via Editorial Manager, where there's a link here, or via the journal's main internet page. Please make sure that your article conforms to the style for the journal that you're submitting to. Otherwise, it can delay the whole submission process, because in most cases the editors will send it back to you to fix. If it's a double-blinded journal, then that manuscript page must be anonymized. Are there non-Roman scripts? Because then you need to also submit a PDF file so that all the non-Roman characters are displayed correctly. You want to put in the number of characters here. Don't put in a comma, don't put in a full stop, just put it in as numbers. And then here are any comments that you might happen to have. That could be anything from this is a chapter of my dissertation to my professor suggested that I submit here, or whatever else you want the editor to know. And here it has taken the metadata partially from the file that we uploaded. So the title in this case is test. The secondary full title is not necessary, but the short title is important, because should the paper be accepted, that will become the running headline of the article when it is typeset. So we will just fill that in. Next, we need an abstract text. In this case, there's a limit of 150 words. And in this case, we've got 2 authors. And in this case, I'm the corresponding author. Should I wish to change that, I can change it, but then all the correspondence and, in fact, the rest of this will pass to the other person. It is also possible to change this at a later stage. The next point is, if there's a funding source, please try to keep the text short. That can be a reason for submission not completing. And after this, the system will build a PDF of all the files that you have submitted. And so that's what we're going to do now. Please also be aware that when you submit a paper to Brill, to any of our journals, that paper should not have been submitted elsewhere or be under consideration anywhere else. That's one of the conditions to be able to publish. Now the system has built the PDF, and we're going to view it and open it. And here we have, there's a title page which has the names and details of the authors. This is the test. This is the double-blinded manuscript, and that's all fine. So now that I've seen it, I'm ready to accept that I agree with the conditions to publish, and I'm going to approve the submission. Are you sure you want to approve it? Yes, I'm sure. And I can also go back to my main menu, and I see here the submission is being processed, and when that paper is under review, it will, once the paper is assigned to the editor, it will have a number. When it's under review after that, you will be able to see at least that it's under review. If you need any more information about the status of your paper, then you need